Georgia Tech at NC State this weekend. This is the second leg of NC State's must-win stretch. Saturday at home against Georgia Tech. It's the second leg. You don't celebrate the second leg, by the way. You're happy you accomplished it, but you're not done yet. To quote the late, great Kobe Bryant, job finished? I don't think so. Job not finished. It's not done yet. But the good news is you did beat Miami in the first leg of this must-win 3-game stretch, so you have something you can evaluate and build off of. The changes, right? I called for big changes. The changes began earlier this week against Miami. Now it's about evaluating those changes. Now you have to decide which changes worked and which need to go back to the drawing board. And that's fine. Both are important, right? This change worked. This one didn't. Perfect. The one that didn't, throw it out. Let's try something new in its place. Or even this, which changes worked and need to be taken further. Right? Basketball is probably the best example. When you have a player who maybe isn't featured but is shooting 48% from three, something crazy. Actually, it's going on right now with a Duke player in the NBA. Grayson Allen is leading the NBA in three-point percentage. He is shooting lights out from three. You know what my response is when someone is shooting like 50% from three? They're not shooting enough threes, right? Keep shooting until it drops to like 42.
Mm-hmm.
Because
even still 42, keep shooting.
That's what I'm saying. Because if you can hit more volume and maybe you lose a little bit of efficiency, but the volume is going to make up for it, right? So if you made a change and something worked, have them do it again. Have them do it again. Do it more, right? Until eventually you find the equilibrium. Because there's a point where, the volume is going to start hurting your efficiency, and then you throttle back, you find that middle point. So if I'm looking at the Miami game and thinking what Kevin Keatts did differently for NC State and what I might want to build off of, meaning see if I can do it more, or seeing, all right, that's stable, stick with it, I'm looking at 4 names. I'm looking at O'Connell, Morsell, Taylor, and Horn. Big minutes. Those 4 big minutes. I don't want this revolving door of a rotation anymore. If one of those 4 guys, who are the 4 main characters from the Miami win, they're the ones that played the most. If they're out there and they start slow, if they're out there and they have a couple maybe not great plays, I want to let them play it out. I want to let them play through it. I want to let them try to fix it. I want Diarra playing most of the minutes of that 5th spot, Middlebrooks playing the next most minutes of that 5th spot, and DJ Burns taking the 3rd shift. With the acknowledgement that if DJ Burns gets hot or if Middlebrooks gets hot, you ride the hot hand. I'm fine with that because we know both of them have certain abilities. But, and specifically with DJ Burns, you are better defensively without him. With Diarra out there, you're better defensively. There's more versatility. There's better rebounding. There's more second jump. And that's what the Miami game was about. You lost 3 straight games. Then you won against Miami. And I'm going to lean on Kevin Keatts for this one. Kevin Keatts in the post-game presser switched places with a reporter. He put Chip Alexander at the podium. We've talked about it a bunch if you've been listening to the show. First of all, thank you. But second of all, I have a different angle on it, so stick with me. What question did Kevin Keatts ask? It was very obvious. Kevin was sitting in the reporter's chair asking a question of a reporter who was sitting in his chair, and he wanted to he's not going to ask a question that points out something bad, right? He's not going to go, hey, did we really botch that pick and roll coverage early in the second half? That's a weird, point out your flaws. You're going to ask a question about what you think you did really, really well. What question did he ask? He said, how is our defending of the 3-point line against a team like Miami that averaged 80-plus and 10 makes from 3 a game? That's what he wanted to highlight. That was the good. So don't take it from me. Take it from Keatts, right? The thing they did better against Miami, defend. They took a really good offensive team, took them out of their game, ran them off the 3-point line, made them shoot tough threes, made them shoot contested threes. What else did they do differently against Miami? They didn't have their slowest-footed big man on the floor nearly as much. I don't pretend to be a genius. I can connect basic dots. I can go A to B, right? Mm-hmm. I can go 1 to 2 to 3, and then, oh, look, it made a smiley face. Like, I've got a 2-year-old at home. I know how to connect the dots work. Almost 3. That is obvious to me. If you made a change to get a better defensive player on the floor and you played better defense and you won the game because of your better defense, the next game you play, I think I see where you should go.
Yeah.
Now, going against Georgia Tech is a little bit of a different beast for this reason. They're coming off a massive win against UNC. Their perimeter players did not look very afraid. They did not look very affected by UNC's defense, which has been at times, and maybe even most of the time, one of the best in the ACC, especially over the last 2 months. So you're going to have to, if you want to hang your hat on defense, if you want to follow the blueprint, you're going to have to ramp it up even further. You're going to have to ramp up the defensive effort, the defensive energy even further. You simply have to. But let's be real. If you're going to play your way back into the conversations you want to be in, back into the NCAA tournament bubble, back into the top tier of the ACC, meaning that top 4 or 5 bubble, it's not going to be easy. Of course you're going to have to do tough things. It's the Atlantic Coast Conference for a reason.
Now, one thing you hear pretty much every coach will tell you, I even think about when I was coaching college lacrosse, was that defense, if your defense is good, it'll travel with you when you go on the road, neutral site, wherever it is. Defense will travel with you. Offense can go hot and cold just depending on the day. You might run into a team that's defending really well. The rim for some reason is like 3 inches too short.
There's that one guy behind there, and he's talking trash. And
exactly.
He's getting in my head.
But defense is always going to keep you in games.
Speaking
Simple
of
as
Happy
that.
Gilmore, you will not make this putt.
Yeah.
Can't finish it.
Yeah, you can. But nonetheless, defense is always going to keep you in games. That's why you ask, like, take it, for example, like hockey. Rob Brind'Amour's like, I'll take an elite power play, or excuse me, an elite penalty kill 10 times out of 10 over an elite power play, because even a power play can go hot and cold.
Yeah, the way I say it is defense doesn't slump.
Yeah,
defense is effort and energy, and it's knowledge, and like right now we have here in the studio we have golf on. Best golfers in the world, if they tweak their swing 1 millimeter, all of a sudden they can't control it, right? Same with shooters. Right, you'll see Steph Curry go quiet for a game. Maybe not as quiet as like dead silent, but he'll have off shooting nights. But that when the Warriors were at their best, they still had that elite defense and running gun and the small ball lineup. Like there's always something you can lean on. So yeah, the defense matters. Absolutely, it matters.